Living in such a hectic world makes it easy to forget the deep truth that is inside each of us. All too often, we let ourselves become engrossed in the never-ending quest for external validation, in the next big break, the next temporary triumph. But what if I told you that right now, rather than in some faraway future, is where you might find the power to manifest the life you truly deserve? Let your mind wander to a time when you could effortlessly peel back the layers of indoctrination, overcoming the limiting ideas and fears that have plagued you for far too long. Underneath, what would you find? A brilliant soul, a living person, exists, and it is whole and finished. Your genuine essence, your inner self, has been lying dormant within you, quietly waiting for you to recognize it. We tend to identify with our ideas, feelings, and self-deprecating narratives about our capabilities and identity. Our reality is influenced by the tales that society has placed on us, by the expectations and judgments. However, the reality is that these are all deceptions, covering up the boundless potential that is within you. You are presented with an option right now. You have the choice to let yourself be carried away by your thoughts and the ups and downs of life, or you can find stability inside yourself. Here, in the holy ground of awareness, in the realm of presence, is where real change starts. Realizing your full potential is the first step in breaking free from the chains of your past and future. You control your own fate and create your own world. Your life is a masterpiece that you paint with each idea, feeling, and deed you do. What about the most stunning aspect? In your hands is the paintbrush. I have to ask, what is it about your life vision that lights a fire under your soul? Is there anything you've always wanted to accomplish, but have put on the back burner? There is no faraway continent or distant future where the answers to these problems reside. You have it within you at this very now. If you want to attract the life you truly deserve, you need to tap into the boundless wellspring of inspiration and prosperity that resides within you. This entails giving one's undivided attention to the here and now, while simultaneously releasing one's grip on concern and anxiety for the future. It entails developing an unwavering faith in the universe's plan for your life and accepting that everything that happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is a part of your spiritual path. You unlock boundless potential the moment you connect with the power of presence. The more you push through difficult times, the more you realize that they are only stepping stones to a more resilient and wise you. When you tune into your innermost truth and desires, you begin to draw into your life events, relationships, and opportunities that align with them. However, this realization is ongoing. Being truly present, embracing life in all its enigma and awe, is an ongoing exercise, a decision made moment by moment. To trust the wisdom of the universe that flows with you, you must be brave, vulnerable, and ready to venture into the unknown. Believe in yourself and know that you have support as you discover your full potential. Are you attracting the right things into your life? The love and knowledge of innumerable creatures who have gone before you, conquered their own fears and uncertainties, will be with you every step of the way. The planet is being changed from the inside out as a result of a worldwide awakening, a change in collective awareness. Fear and concern are warring with reality, from the roots of the earth to the tide of universe combined. In this very second, you possess all that is necessary to bring about the life you choose. So, relax, breathe deeply, and let the energy of presence flow through you. Your limitless potential is not some faraway idea. It is the brilliant essence of your being, existing in this very moment. Assume it fully, live it, and you will see incredible changes unfold in your life. No one can tell you if you have the ability to make your dreams a reality. What matters is that you are prepared to exercise that power. Embrace your complete self and let your light shine so brightly that everyone can see it. At this very moment, the decision is entirely up to you. Epitome of leadership, Adipose Leadership 3. Is your spirit beckoning you to wake up and realize what a glorious entity you really are? Do you? It is normal to experience some anxiety and excitement as you stand on the edge of this life-altering adventure. The road ahead could appear obscure, a meandering road that vanishes into thin air. The best compass you could ever hope to have is inside you, though. What if I told you that? The strength of being present, the constant illumination of self-awareness, is what will lead you through the trials and tribulations that are to come. We can easily feel helpless in a world where everything is in a perpetual state of flux, because change is the only constant. Attempting to foresee and prepare for every conceivable outcome could lead us to feel a need for control. However, the reality is that we bring more internal strife and misery into our lives when we fight against life's inherent flow. The capacity to accept what is unknown, to let life develop as it will, with an open mind and a curious heart, is the key to gracefully and easily navigating the trip that lies ahead. What this means is that we shouldn't just sit back and accept life as it comes. Instead, we should connect with the cosmos' wisdom and have faith that everything that happens to us is a part of our soul's growth. By training ourselves to be fully present, we come to understand that we are not autonomous beings, but rather threads in the infinite tapestry of reality. Eventually, we come to realize that no matter what happens, there is always a chance to become more self-aware. Being present becomes our safe haven when all else fails. It is the stable base upon which we can construct a life that is full of purpose and meaning, the calm center in the midst of a tempest. Being totally present frees us from the sway of our ideas and feelings, which are influenced by external factors. Rather, we find ourselves at the center of the storm, observing the energetic patterns that whirl around us. This, however, in no way implies that we will not encounter difficulties or roadblocks. Actually, our inner strength and resilience are typically forged in the furnaces of hardship. But when we face these difficulties head-on, eager to maintain an open mind and a sense of wonder, we start to perceive them not as obstacles, but as chances for personal development and change. Imagine a period in your life when you were confronted with a seemingly impossible challenge, a time when you wanted to quit, when you felt like the world was crushing you. Now picture yourself facing that obstacle with the strength of presence, relying on your inner strength and the universe's assistance. What impact would that have had on the final result? If it had, how do you think it would have changed the way you saw yourself and your role in society? Everyone has far greater potential than they usually give themselves credit for. An inherent fortitude and perseverance is a part of every single one of us. Nothing is impossible when we connect with this wellspring of strength and wisdom, when we let ourselves be carried along by the currents of life. However, being fully present and in tune with our own truth does not occur suddenly. Practicing mindfulness entails committing to being fully present in every moment, with an open mind and an inquisitive heart. Being present in the face of discomfort, leaning into uncertainty, and trusting the intelligence of the universe coursing through us are all aspects of this practice. Mindfulness training is among the most effective strategies for developing this kind of presence. We can start to make room for clarity and serenity inside ourselves by focusing on the here and now, by watching our ideas and feelings without passing judgment. It becomes clear that we are not our ideas or emotions, but rather the consciousness that contains them all. Meditation is just one kind of mindfulness exercise. Counting breaths mindfully throughout the day, is another. Simple things like stopping what you're doing to feel your feet hit the floor, or giving your full attention to the sound of someone's voice, can go a long way. Embracing each moment with purpose and mindfulness, approaching life with an inquisitive and open mind, is the key. Subtle changes in how we interpret our environment become apparent when we train ourselves to be fully present. We might discover that we respond less emotionally and mentally to life's inevitable ups and downs. We might begin to feel more attuned to the feelings of others around us, more aware of our common humanity, and the interdependence of all things. We may discover that presence is our best ally and most reliable guide as we navigate the unexpected curves of the road ahead. As we grow older, we realize the importance of listening to our inner voices, following our gut feelings, and relying on our own intuition. Certainly, there will be moments of difficulty. We will inevitably falter, become confused, and forget the essence of our identity. However, presence remains waiting even in those instances. It is the constant call to dedicate oneself to the awakening road, to start over, to make a new beginning. As you enter a new phase of your life, take comfort in the fact that you are not doing it alone. Always remember that the cosmos is behind you, loving and wise, and that your life is a sacred journey back to your authentic self, and that each step you take is a part of that unfolding. I pray that you trust in the wisdom of life and proceed gracefully along this road. Every obstacle and difficulty presents a chance for personal development. Therefore, may you welcome the unfamiliar with curiosity and a willingness to learn. The strength of being present, the brilliance of self-awareness, will bring you home time and time again. May you never forget this. Upon further exploration of the domain of self-improvement, an essential fact becomes apparent. Our external reality is an exact mirror of the reality we construct in our brains. Rather than being helpless bystanders to our environment, our ideas, values, and feelings are the active ingredients that create our reality. When resources seem limited and precious, it's easy to adopt a poverty mindset and convince yourself that you'll never have enough, that you'll always have to fight for what little happiness and success you may find. What if, however, I suggested an alternate route? What if I told you that having an abundance of any kind is not a goal in and of itself, but rather something we are born into? Rather than being a practice exclusive for the enlightened few, the art of manifestation is a talent that anybody can develop and become proficient in. The first step is to change our viewpoint, to be willing to let go of the myths and beliefs that have limited us. How often do we dwell on our shortcomings, our lack of resources, and our fears that we will never be able to achieve our goals? From our limited perspective, we can only perceive the flaws in our life and the world around us. If we were to change our focus, though, what would happen? Imagine for a second if we started to appreciate all the good things in our lives, the benefits and opportunities that we have at any given time. Rather than rejecting reality, this change in viewpoint is a deliberate effort to bring ourselves into harmony with the essence of who we are. We are not apart from the limitless wellspring of creation, but rather our own being is an aspect of it, a special manifestation of its limitless potential. The door to opportunities we never knew existed before swings open the moment we start to think and act with an abundance mindset. We begin to perceive possibilities where there were previously only challenges. Attracting like-minded individuals and situations becomes second nature when we tune into the frequency of our own emotional state. However, the question remains, how can we actually implement this movement? The patterns of scarcity and lack have impacted our lives for a long time. How can we release them? The tales we make ourselves about our abilities and identity, fueled by our thoughts and emotions, hold the key to unlocking our full potential. Expressing appreciation is one of the strongest weapons we possess. Taking stock of and being grateful for what we have helps us stop dwelling on what we don't have and start making the most of what we do have, no matter how tiny or inconsequential it may appear. We begin to view the world with an abundance mindset, knowing that no matter what, there is always something for which to be grateful and for which to appreciate the gift that is life. In the present moment, live in the present that is so relatively fragile that we can always be grateful, and for which we must always live. Be grateful, no matter how tiny or inconsequential it may appear. The practice of gratitude can be a promising path to a better life through the terrible trials we face every day in living in a perfect world. Jacob Winkman. Learning to release our attachment to certain results is another critical component of developing an abundance mindset. We tend to become overly focused on one thing, thinking that achieving it will bring us satisfaction and contentment. The reality, though, is that very little of life goes according to plan. We miss out on the limitless potential that lies outside of our narrow horizons when we insist on having things done our way. The alternative is to accept life as it unfolds, to let go and let the cosmos lead the way, and to put our faith in its ability to bring about our greatest good. This doesn't imply we should just sit back and take everything in stride. Rather, we should act in accordance with our heart's wisdom, knowing that everything happens for a reason. When we start to live from a place of wealth, we might be surprised by how the world changes for the better. When we train ourselves to be loving and generous, we attract opportunities and people who are in harmony with our energy. As a result, we start to view the world in a more positive light, as a welcoming playground full with opportunities. We all know this isn't always a picnic. At times we may fail to recognize our bountiful nature and return to old habits of scarcity and lack. We still have an option, though, even in those instances. With each inhalation, we have the option to be kind to ourselves, to forgive our mistakes, and to start over, renewing our dedication to living an abundant life. Using affirmations and visualization is a powerful technique to establish this mindset of plenty. By intentionally bringing ourselves to think and see things in a positive light, we can start to alter the neural pathways in our brains that have been shaped by limiting beliefs and stories throughout the years. It might be a good habit to begin each day by telling ourselves that we are worthy of love, success, and happiness in any way that it manifests. For a while, we could pretend that our wildest dreams have come true and experience the elation and appreciation that come from having our heartfelt wishes granted. If we keep these practices up and strive to be abundant in all aspects of our lives, we might see more evidence of the kindness and generosity that we represent in the world. Odds and ends may start to fall into place, and chances may present themselves in the most surprising ways. Realizing that we are whole and complete just as we are, that we already have everything we need, is the biggest gift of developing an abundant mindset. The liberation and delight of living in harmony with one's own profound truths begin when one abandons the idea that contentment and joy are located outside of oneself. Remember that abundance is not a destination to be attained, but a state of being that you may consciously embody in each moment as you progress on this path of manifestation. Being kind and giving oneself freely is the essence of this way of life. May you have faith as your personal journey unfolds, understanding that each step contributes to the larger plan for your life, continuing to widen the path to which I see you and truly are. I pray that you learn to harness the influence of your innermost feelings and ideas, and use them to manifest the life you see for yourself. And may the reality of your own abundant nature remain a constant reminder to you. End quote. End quote. Saint Martin, Mater Sei. All the brilliant potential that resides within you, just waiting to be unleashed. It is critical to remember that there will be bumps in the road as we undertake this process of personal growth. Problems and difficulties are inevitable. There will be times when we feel trapped or overpowered by the sheer magnitude of the undertaking. However, we should not let these challenges discourage us. On the contrary, they serve as opportunities for learning and development that will propel us toward realizing our full potential. We can learn more about ourselves, develop our strengths, and release self-defeating habits and beliefs with every difficulty we encounter. Resistance, that inner voice that tells us we're not good enough, that we can't do it, or that we should just stay where we are, is one of the most prevalent challenges we face on this route. Procrastination, lack of confidence, and a fear of failing are all manifestations of this resistance. However, deep down, it mirrors our own self-limiting narratives and ideas. Recognizing this resistance for what it is, a sign that we are pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zone, is the first step toward overcoming it. After all, resistance is a normal aspect of growing. Instead of resisting or attempting to disregard it, we might learn to accept it and use it to our advantage. Being able to observe one's own thoughts and feelings requires a mindset that is both compassionate and inquisitive. We realize we can choose our reaction to our patterns when we can take a step back and observe them clearly and comprehendingly. Remember Miguel, our resistance feeds us stories that can either keep us tiny and mired in repeated patterns or inspire us to take a deep breath, remember our worth and potential, and go forward, even when we're afraid and unclear of what the future holds. On this journey, we may also face challenges from the outside world, such as individuals or events that appear to be impeding our development and advancement. These challenges can be discouraging and irritating, and they can make us feel helpless and trapped. We are also given an option in this matter. We have the power to perceive these challenges not as proof that we are not intended to achieve or thrive, but as possibilities to solve problems creatively, to draw on our inner resources, and to be resilient. This principle has proved remarkably effective, bringing life alive for dozens of psychopathic patients and improving the quality of their lives. This doesn't imply we don't feel the brunt of these difficulties or never feel hopeless. It only means we may learn to have faith in ourselves to overcome them and discover solutions, even when we can't see a way forward. Being mindful or paying close attention in the here and now as events develop is a potent weapon for overcoming internal and external challenges. Being in the here and now reduces our vulnerability to reactive thoughts and feelings caused by dwelling on the past or future. Alternatively, we can train ourselves to react to every circumstance with a focused and deliberate intention based on our core values and principles. Everything we need to overcome the obstacles in our path is right here, waiting for us to tap into the wisdom of the here and now. Building a network of people who have faith in us and our abilities, who can cheer us on when we're down, and who can tell us what to do next, are all crucial components of overcoming adversity. This could involve reaching out to someone you trust for advice or support, finding a group of people with similar values, or even just asking for someone to listen with empathy. People are more willing to try new things, leave their comfort zones, and face the unknown when they feel connected to others and encouraged. With a support system in place, we are more likely to have faith in our abilities to recover quickly from setbacks and continue moving forward. Learning to have faith in one's own inherent intelligence, creativity, and direction is the ultimate goal of any journey toward inner transformation. In order to fully embrace ourselves and our purpose on this earth, we must first let go of the ideas and habits that have limited us. Though we may feel lost or overwhelmed at times, remember that every difficulty is really a call to dig deeper, to uncover yet another layer of conditioning and expectation In the process of doing this job and overcoming the difficulties we face on our personal journey, we may discover that we are having a positive impact on the world around us. Each individual's journey of self-discovery, each act of bravery and perseverance, has an impact on the group as a whole. We are all interconnected in a greater narrative of self-discovery and potential realization, and every one of us contributes in our own special way to the greater good. Because of this, let us welcome the challenges that come our way with an attitude of gratitude and acceptance, viewing them as opportunities to grow and learn. Let us have faith in the wisdom of the path, realizing that each step contributes to the overall plan of our life. And most importantly, let us keep in mind that we are part of a community that is also struggling to find its true identity. I pray that no matter how difficult things get, we will have the strength to persevere and to always be ourselves. We return to our essential wholeness and perfection as we follow this heartfelt path of inner transformation, which ultimately takes us to our true selves. Dr. Alan Weiss, may we all be blessed with the fortitude and wisdom to face it head-on, believing that each stride brings us closer to our final destination. Thank you, Stephen K., for your generosity. Amidst the overwhelming noise of society's demands and expectations, it's easy to forget the one true thing about ourselves. We are here to tell our own narrative, to share the music that beats in our souls. Messages about our ideal selves, our desires, and our life paths inundate us from the minute we take our initial breath. What if, however, we were able to shed all of those taut masks and facades, those outer layers? Imagine for a second a world where our true selves might be exposed, once we could let go of our conditioning and expectations. Here we find genuineness, the way to live in harmony with our inner knowledge and fulfill our highest purpose. A voyage that starts with a basic inquiry, beyond the stories we have heard about ourselves, beyond the roles and titles that define us. Who am I truly? Who is the fundamental, authentic version of ourselves? This isn't the kind of question that can be rationally answered. It's a question that demands an emotional response from within. Being one's true self means freeing oneself from the clutches of seeking and receiving acceptance from other people. It entails understanding the need of listening to one's inner voice and following its guidance, especially when that voice steers one away from the beaten route of tradition and expectation. Obviously, this isn't always a picnic. Risking rejection and venturing beyond the safety of the known and familiar are necessary components of living authentically. Being self-reliant involves embracing our individuality and standing firm when faced with challenges, such as when our wants and needs conflict with societal norms. However, there are incalculable benefits to embarking on this path. When we are true to ourselves in all that we do, we draw from an infinite source of energy and inspiration. As we grow older, we start to feel a calling that extends beyond the transient joys of this world and into a profound understanding that each of us has a special and important role to play in the vast fabric of existence. Therefore, where do we start on this path of embodiment? If you can imagine what it would be like to be without thoughts, can you fancy the pleasures that might be collectively conjured by our thoughts? Are there not thoughts of riches and blessings that could be ours also? Are there not choices, stories, and opportunities that would unlock our true potential, to seek our unique potential, to live the life we were born to live? Is it the wisdom to consider how our present reality can fit with the essence of our hope in the world that we really want? This is the future we want. In order to discover our true selves, how can we overcome the many layers of indoctrination and expectations that surround us? The key is to learn to be present, to give one's whole attention and energy to every single instant of life. Being truly self-aware entails training oneself to watch one's own mental processes and feelings objectively and with an attitude of genuine interest. What this means is that we should respect the intelligence that is within our own bodies by tuning into their subtle signs and indications. It also entails developing the skill of compassionately and clearly expressing our truths, even when doing so feels uncomfortable or hazardous. Nothing here is about putting one's own wants before those of others. Rather, it's about discovering one's own emotional language and giving expression to one's own desires. Relationships can undergo transformations as we start to be true to ourselves. As we develop beyond dysfunctional habits and relationships, some may fade away. Attracting individuals who share our frequency of truth and purpose can help others grow and thrive. While we peel back the layers of conditioning and expectation to uncover the special abilities we were born to share with the world, we may also discover that our sense of purpose starts to crystallize. The point isn't to seek out a great, officially sanctioned purpose or calling. Rather, it's to learn to trust that each moment is valuable in and of itself, through expressing ourselves completely and honestly. This is not a static experience, but rather a continuous process of discovery and unfolding, I assure you. There will be moments of relapse, when we revert to our former ways of betraying ourselves. And what more connecting to nature can we be and not want to return to the darkness? This is a miracle, and I honor it. At times, we may feel unsure of ourselves and our abilities to be genuine in a world that sometimes seems to be against us. Here is where we may practice self-compassion the most, by treating ourselves with the same love and understanding that we would give to a dear friend. Every setback is a chance to learn something new about ourselves, but if we can learn to fall down gracefully and laugh it off, we can get back up and try again. The path to authenticity, in the end, is a path back to one's own center, where one might rediscover the completeness and perfection that already exists. Trusting that our individual paths are being guided by a higher power, and that life's unexpected turns are all part of that plan, is what this trip is all about. As we embark on this journey, learning to fearlessly and firmly live our truth, we may discover that we, and the world around us, undergo professional transformations. The impact of being genuine and valuing oneself has a domino effect, encouraging others to do the same. Authenticity is a rallying cry for completeness in a society where fragmentation and disconnection are all too common. It's a plea to recall the oneness that is fundamental to creation. Being true to ourselves makes us shining lights in a world that needs them desperately. So, my dear friends, let us bear each other's burdens. While we go through the ups and downs of this holy path, may we encourage and support one another. Let us rejoice in the individuality of our experiences, paying tribute to the greatness and brilliance that reside within each of us. Most importantly, let us not lose sight of the fact that every one of us is an integral part of life's grand design, and that our very existence is not random. Setutus Kal. We pray that we may be brave enough to speak the truth and share the joy that is in our hearts. Every step is a component of the larger plan for our lives. Therefore, may we have faith in the intrinsic righteousness of our own way. To live, after all, is to give one's whole self to every moment, to share one's special expression with the world. Deified One, may we all be granted the fortitude and wisdom to do exactly that, to let our lives be a demonstration of the transformative potential of being genuine and having a sense of purpose. We are loved, we are supported, and we are never alone on this precious path of waking. May these things be ever present in our memories. Subscribing to this channel will help you stay in the now, which is essential if you are on a journey of self-discovery. If you understood this message and plan to keep evolving in the future, please respond with the word "now" in the comments area. Also, consider hitting that like button or forwarding this video to someone who could use a friendly reminder to take it easy and pay attention.